snap. Tipped. Intercepted. Taylor. He'll score. Touchdown. Anderson. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown.
It's the Giants' day, and they're going to finish it up as Sequels throws an underhanded pass to Jensen, and Jensen gets to the 47-yard line. Lawrence Taylor limping at the end of that play.
He's grabbing the back of his leg, so we'll just have to see. That's where a hamstring is pulled.
The same in the second half. Here we see Sims going long to Rodney Hampton, 27 yards, and Hampton doing well to get into the end zone. Jeff Hostetler, who came on to give Sims a rest, added another for the Giants with a 15-yard scramble before Troy Aikman hit Jay Novacek from 10 yards out for the Cowboys score. But it was too late. Final score, Dallas Cowboys 17, New York Giants 31. Bill Parcells' Giants, unbeaten in their first 4 games, were looking to equal their best start in 50 years. The Redskins, 1 game back, were just looking to equal the Giants, something they hadn't done for 2 seasons.
Megan in the backfield with Sims. To Baker. And he is, well, it's a foot race. He even outran Darrell Green, although Green was gaining 80 yards. Sims for Bavaro. Turn it on, Mark. Darrell Green. 1st and goal at the 5. Anderson from Sims. The Giants are signaling touchdown, and now the officials do too. This is Beinert with an option pass, is wide open to Ricky Sanders. Touchdown. Second and goal at the 2. Again, it's Anderson. Gotta be looking at him. And that's what they were looking at. Touchdown, Bavaro. 6:08 left to play. 4th and goal. Riggs, he's in.
With more than 5 minutes left, Washington had plenty of time to score again. Or they would have if cornerback Johnny Thomas had managed to get out of the way of this Giants punt. He didn't. The live ball was recovered by New York at the 1. And although they failed to get in from there, a Matt Barr field goal was enough to give the Giants their 5th straight. First action from the Meadowlands, where the Phoenix Cardinals were looking to upset the unbeaten New York Giants.
6 defensive backs and a safety blitz, and Sims forced to get away in a hurry. Cedric Mack came in actually from his cornerback position, and Sims is shaken up.
Sims is still on the ground, absolutely leveled on that play. Watch from the left-hand side of your screen. Watch the action. No one there to touch him at all. Ooh, and he had someone right underneath the Harvey under his legs at the same time as he took the shot on top. And Jeff Hostetler warming up on the sideline.
There's Louis Sharp, who is lining up as an end. I'm sure he reported.
An extra offensive line. Mike Fox in there, too, in place of Carl Banks for the Giants.
3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. And a play fake. Rosenbaugh throws to Sharp for the touchdown. A 45-yard field goal attempt by Al Del Greco. It's long enough, and the kick is good. So Al Del Greco has kicked 4 field goals for the Cardinals today, including this 45-yarder. And now it's a 9-point game. So the Giants need 2 scores to pull this one out with 5:38 to go in the 4th. 2nd down and 10. Going up top, Hostetler for Stephen Baker. Touchdown, Giants. Hostetler's pass blocked by Lionel Manuel, and the Giants are in field goal range.
They've got to get up there and get the clock stopped. Hostetler will take the ball and ground it into the ground. Here it is. Take the snap. Throw it down. 3 seconds on the clock.
This is going to be a long kick for Barr, 40 yards to win it. The Giants win.
Phil Simms' ankle injury wasn't as bad as at first feared, and he's expected back this week as the Giants continue their best ever start to a season.
Touchdown for Parcells. Stumbled going back to throw and going deep, and there is Barnett. Touchdown, Eagles. Second down and 10. Simms has it batted away. It's intercepted, and the Eagles will score again. Byron Evans.
Against the 49ers, each with just one loss, in front of a record crowd at Candlestick Park. It was a game of surprisingly few scoring opportunities, the first of them squandered by San Francisco's Mike Kofer midway through the second quarter. The Giants were having trouble even getting into field goal range until a piece of luck late in the half.
Meggett in motion, and they even send Hampton into the pattern. And it's deflected and caught by Stephen Baker after it bounced off the hands of Rodney Hampton. First and goal at the 3.
Great effort by Stephen Baker.
Anderson, maybe a yard, maybe less. Second and goal with 3 tight ends in the alignment. The play fake. Simms under pressure, throws too high. Off the fingertips of Mark Bavaro in the end zone. It'll be 3rd and goal. Anderson behind some blocking, but no room at all. Stopped at the 2.5. Matt Barr, the longtime Brown, who spent part of 1982 with the 49ers, boots it through. So finally some points up on the board. A 20-yard field goal for Matt Barr.
Time for the 49ers to make a little something happen here offensively.
Montana goes underneath to Craig. He has a first down. He's inside the Giant 40, and he's run down at the 27 by Greg Jackson. 2nd and 5 at the 23. And Montana fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Taylor.
You can stop them for a long time, but sooner or later you keep going to them, they're going to get you.
With both teams playing better defense than offense, the 49ers held their lead all the way through the third quarter and well into the fourth, before a second, much bigger slice of luck again gained New York valuable yardage.
1st and 10, 49-yard line. Simms gets taken down at the 42, picked up, though, by Anderson, and he turns what would have been a disastrous play into a huge break.
We're going to have to put a couple of these into the playbook.
Simms is pressured and throws it away. 2nd and goal, New York at the 9. 4:08 remaining. 4th quarter, 7-3, 49ers. Simms, too deep, intended for Ingram in the corner, covered by Don Griffin. 3rd and goal. Baker to the left, Ingram to the right. And Simms over the middle, knocked away. Ronnie Lott knocked it away. And a very big decision now for Parcells.
Well, the decision's been made. They are going to go for it.
4th and goal from the gun. Simms fires, batted away. Darryl Pollard. What a night for the 49ers secondary.
And the 49er defense, nothing short of excellent.
Needing a touchdown to win, the Giants did get the ball back with 30 seconds left, but Phil Simms was sacked on the final play of the game. The 49ers now have sole possession of the NFL's best record. Action comes from the Giants-Vikings game at the Meadowlands. New York coach Bill Parcells, suffering with kidney trouble, got out of his hospital bed to be on the sidelines, demonstrating greater mobility than his quarterback in the opening spell of the game.
From the end zone, Simms sacked. That's a safety. Chris Dolman got there first. Split backs on 1st down. Gannon with good protection finds Jordan, chased by Pepper Johnson.
And that's a big gain down to the 42-yard line. Gannon. Good block from Zimmerman. What a play! Oh, dandy! And here's Jordan down to the 1. What a superbly executed play. Only 6 rushing touchdowns this year for the Minnesota Vikings. Now make it 7. Minnesota has been susceptible to the run this year. But Phil Simms will throw after a play fake on first down, going deep. Reggie Rutland defending, the catch made by Stephen Baker. It's 1st and 10. They'll try Hampton again. Carson with the block. Hampton to the 1-yard line. Anderson's 9th rushing touchdown this year.
New York, down by the margin of Phil Simms' safety at half-time, went 5 behind to a Fouad-Rivet's field goal in the 3rd quarter. It wasn't until the start of the 4th that the Giants woke up, and it was defense that did it.
15 to 10. Play fake. Gannon across the middle behind Jordan. Picked off by Greg Jackson. Jackson circling to the right side. Chased by Novoselsky.
That interception led to a Matt Barr field goal, which pulled the Giants back to within 2, and they had good field position for their next drive.
Sims short setup. Off the back, the catch made by Baker as Rutland lost his position. Hampton out of the tackle. Downfield block from Baker, first down at the 14. 15-13 the score. Minnesota on top. Into the flat, Ingram. 1st and goal, Giants at the 2. Touchdown!
Well, the Giants are playing like they want to be NFC champs today.
Gary Reasons dances into the line. Now Taylor moves left. Got caught with the snap. Now he chases Gannon and knocks it loose. A patented Lawrence Taylor play. It's 20 to 15 Giants with 3:15 to go. Here comes Taylor. And the pass is picked off. Gary Reasons.
It's Lawrence Taylor from the right side of the screen. He goes right around the tackle and the guard and the center, all 3 of them there. Jack Anderson can't make the grab. Reason gets the deflection. The Giants have it at the 16, and they can salt this one away right now.
And that's exactly what they did. Matt Barr's 3rd field goal made the final score 23-15. And to Bill Parcells' 2 big worries, kidney stones and a 2-game losing streak, at least one had passed.
That Giants victory clinched them the NFC East title and also heralded the return to form of one of the NFL's greatest linebackers, LT, Lawrence Taylor.
LT came in at halftime and he told everybody that's just not the way the New York Giants defense plays. We don't play back on our heels. We play attacking and aggressive style. And he said he's going to go out there and do it the way it's supposed to. And anybody who wants to join along can come with him. So he kind of carried the defense with us.
Gaining the sack, Lawrence Taylor.
I think what has in the past thrilled a lot of people about me is like my determination, dedication, my bluntness, my willing to do whatever it takes, the way I disrespect authority, don't have my own program, and do everything the way I pretty much think it should be done.
There's none more special than number 56 when you talk about defensive players in this league. Watch the play he makes coming all the way from the left side of the field. That's the LT of old.
He's a great player. Best defensive player over the last 10 years. And it's not close for second.
There will come a day when I will have to leave the sport either because of lack of ability, lack of desire, or just plain getting too old. And one of those threes will play a part, but not right now. You know, I go out there and I say to myself, hey, I will not be beaten. And you got to believe in yourself. You know, it's the amount of confidence you have in yourself. Not being cocky, not being a bunch of mouth and doing and saying a lot of things. You just can't talk yourself into doing something. You got to believe in yourself, and I believe myself. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do, and that's what makes me a lot different than a lot of other players.
What is it that motivates LT?
A check worth $91,000 a week. Oh, God, a lot of things that motivate me. My family motivates me. The fans, they motivate me. Just wanting to go out a winner is enough to motivate me. As my years start to wind down for as football goes, I see my business career starting to grow now. And I like this aging process. I like this growing old with dignity. I may be dying, but I'm not dead, and I'm not ready for burial yet.
The weather. We pick up the action on the first drive of the game. It's the Giants' ball. They're on their own 39-yard line.
Lewis Tillman straight ahead, 41. I wonder if the weather, the fact that maybe Parcells feels that Tillman more reliable in handling the ball, although the veteran Otis Anderson is mightily highly regarded in that respect. Hampton in there now for the first time. Here comes the rookie. He's close to a first down at the 49 before Conlon and Williams can collaborate.
Again, they broke off the right side, and they're knocking Seals back off the line of scrimmage. Bavaro doing a beautiful job on Bennett. He takes Bennett 3 yards to the inside and 3 yards up the field. So the Bavaro-Bennett confrontation could be a critical factor throughout the game.
Ingram in motion. Hampton goes the other way. Smith's side, and he's into Buffalo territory. A gain of a couple to the 49. Nate Odoms, any feel he's playing all-pro corner, comes up to make the stop.
Bruce Smith again is ready to dominate to his inside. A great defensive player will take both of them down and leave the ball carrier stripped.
Sims, hand off to Hampton, cuts back inside to the 40, could go all the way to the 9-yard line. Rodney Hampton. One of the longest runs of the year for the Giants, 40 yards.
Well, the lack of discipline on the part of the Buffalo defense is already showing up.
They spotted at the 8-yard line. First and goal for the Giants on their first possession. Here comes Hampton again, and he's hit hard by Cornelius Bennett, who slashed in from his linebacker spot.
Well, the plan was, in talking to Giant coaches, that they were going to their right, and are they? The big problem with this Bill defense is that they're undisciplined. That time Bennett went well inside, and Bavaro just simply took him and rode him all the way across where the ball was snapped, leaving a huge hole in there.
And Hampton, who in the preseason ran 89 yards for a touchdown against Buffalo, in his first pro carry, comes up with a big 40-yarder today from the 6. Sims' first throw. Wide open, but he didn't run it, and now this one batted in the air, caught by Hampton, and he's tackled at the 2-yard line. You could hear the crowd almost begging Sims to run to the left. There was no one over there trying to jam the pass.
Everybody wanted him over there, Dick. 70,000 people were screaming to him to run. He's looking to his right. A pick play's not there. Now look in front of him. Nothing there. Nothing there. And he at least could have gotten to the goal line if he hadn't gotten over it.
And Hampton, the right man in the right spot for the Giants to get the carom, and a gain of 4 yards.
Beautifully defensed. And you see Bennett jump up to block an anticipated pass. And Bennett might have been able to catch Sims. He's awfully quick, and he'd cut across the defense. But still, the hole was there.
Credit Leon Seals, the man who batted the pass in the air. Two tight ends for Barrow on the left. They run right as Hampton to the goal line. Did he get in? No, he stopped at the 1-foot line, and Parcells, who has a penchant for going for it on 4th down, sends in Otis Anderson. The Giants will not try the field goal, and they love it here at Giant Stadium.
Expect the same thing to happen. They'll take Otis this time, Otis Anderson, and put him off that right side and get an extra tight end in motion, most likely blocking over there, and just take it right up over the top.
The veteran Anderson, who leads the Giants in rushing this year. They go for the heavy formation. 3 tight ends. Anderson dives. No signal yet. Now touchdown, Giants. Barely made it.
He barely made it, Dick. He was cut down early, and just that extra effort and his height got him over the goal line. Now this has got to shake up this Bill team a little bit. Just barely. Now watch that extra effort. He had to reach out with the ball to get over the goal line. But the Bills have been a big play team defensively, but they've given up a lot of yardage and a lot of first downs. So Parcells took advantage of the lack of discipline in that Bill defense.
Matt Barr kicks the extra point.
So an excellent start for the Giants. We rejoin the game on the Bills' first drive. They're on their own 26.
No huddle, and Jim Kelly loves this. It's been very effective for the Bills. Incomplete to Andre Reed, broken up by Greg Jackson, number 47.
Perry Williams, they were in man-to-man coverage. I'm sure the Bills thought the Giants would automatically zone defense this. You see Taylor rushing right over the top. They thought the Giants would zone it, and the Giants played man-to-man and just stuffed the play.
The swing to Thomas. Boy, he waits brilliantly and now breaks into the clear. Thomas at the 50. One man to beat Collins, and Collins cuts him off at the 25-yard line. A brilliant run by Thomas, who waited for his blockers, used that little stutter step, and then flew down the sidelines.
A beautiful screen pass to the left. You'll see people going to the outside, and watch Thomas wait for his blockers. Great job all the way around of picking up people. Pat Richter and Hull both. Beautifully timed screen, and Thomas just waited for his blockers.
49-yard run by Thurman Thomas, who has 1,083 this year coming in. Underneath, incomplete to Beebe, and there goes a flag. They hit him too soon. Everson Walls.
They're hooking receivers short, Dick, assuming it's a zone defense.
Defensive pass interference, number 28, first down.
And the Giants are just not retreating that far. There's the hooking pattern, but watch, Walls will be right there, and I guess he was there a half a count early. But the Giants aren't dropping their zone that deep, so they're right in the middle of those pass patterns.
First down at the 17, trailing 7-0. Thomas on the draw. And he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line before Pepper Johnson, number 52, and 47, Greg Jackson, can make the stop. Going without the huddle, Jim Kelly. Oh, it's been an effective device at the start of the game for Buffalo here of late. Thomas again, good hole, closes quickly. Leonard Marshall made the stop at the 6-yard line. That may be good enough for a first down.
No question, they're keeping the Giants off balance. And look at this, Dick. The last 7 games, the first possession they've scored, this would make it 7 out of 8.
It is first and goal for Kelly. Throws to Lofton, incomplete. He had a chance. Mark Collins on the coverage. Lofton finding the fountain of youth in Buffalo at age 34.
What a departure from what the Buffalo team has done in the past. Thrown high, just right for Lofton, but he doesn't get both hands on it. Collins did a great job of just getting his hand between Lofton's.
Second and goal for Kelly. Underneath to Andre Reed. Touchdown! And that's That's what Reed does so well, working in that linebacker area. He's fast and he's strong, and Reed, who has the all-time record for Buffalo with touchdown catches, adds one. He now has 38.
He did the same kind of a pattern for 70 yards against Philadelphia. Here they're on the goal line. Reed just crosses shallow in front of everybody. He builds up his speed. It's a zone defense. They just watch him go by. He catches it and just turns right into the end zone. So that particular play, the Giants are going to have to cut Reed off before he gets across that field. 5 yards deep. They could cut him off.
Bill's all-time scorer, Scott Norwood, to add the extra point. And it's tied at 7. Andre Reed from Kutztown State. What a pick he was in the 4th round.
The Giants driving. They're on their own 35-yard line.
The Giants have gone with Howard and Marshall as defensive linemen and 5 linebackers moving around in different positions. In this case, Taylor coming up the field, they ran right inside of it.
Thurman Thomas for 5. Banks and Johnson, the tacklers.
That no huddle, we got a hint of a lot of no huddle, but this is a lot more than I expected, Dick. You'd wonder that the Bills have a lot of confidence going right out there, no huddle in a strange setting like this.
He guns this one complete to Andre Reed, breaking tackles, as is his one, and Perry Williams makes the stop at the 23-yard line of New York.
You'd think with the weather conditions and playing at the Giant Stadium, but Reed breaks straight up the field and then just hooks right into that middle area, and Bill Belichick, the Giant coordinator, said we've got to stop those inside breaks, and there's another one that's been completed. They're running right past the zone defenders and catching the ball, and everybody's caught flat-footed.
Kelly underneath. Tight end. No, it's Reed again at the 20-yard line. And this a rare time he's tackled immediately as Carl Branks brings him down at the 20-yard line. So a short gain of about 3.
Now, there's only so much of this no huddle the receivers can handle because they'll get winded.
Kelly throwing toward the end zone. Almost intercepted by Mark Collins. Oh, he threw into double coverage and lucky to get away with that one as Collins was there along with Guyton.
Collins broke forward in a zone defense and then retreated right back into the play. Kelly never saw him retreat back in there. They thought they had him held at the line of scrimmage.
Andre Reed became a defensive back to break up the interception. 3rd down. Kelly's going to run for it. Lawrence Taylor from behind, and Guyton, or it was Greg Jackson coming up from the secondary, make the stop. It'll be short of a 1st down by about a yard.
This is as well as I've seen Kelly play.
Well, Marv Levy is not going for the field goal with less than a minute to go in this 1st quarter. It's 4th down and 1 at the Giant 15. 3 tight ends for Kelly on 4th and 1. No, Don Smith, and on 2nd effort he might have squeaked forward. He's at the 14, and this will require a measurement.
They got nothing. If they got that, they were darn lucky because he was stuck.
Just enough for Don Smith, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
They're going with 3 wide receivers every play.
Thomas picking his hole, slashing down to the 6-yard line. And it takes half the Giant defense to stop him after a gain of 8 more. And Thomas having a banner 1st quarter that comes to an end tied at 7. From the Giant Stadium on a rainy, freezing day in the Meadowlands. You wouldn't know it by the way they've moved the ball. 7-all. And this drive continues for Buffalo. 2nd and 2. Thomas to the 5 and then twist for possibly another 1st down if he's inside the 4-yard line. And Thurman Thomas has really been a brilliant player and perhaps not earning the credit nationwide that he deserves. Here's a guy, he said he even flew in to see his old buddy Barry Sanders. Can you imagine a team that had, well, Thomas was so good, Sanders had to sit on the bench behind him as a sophomore at Oklahoma State.
Well, he said with Sanders, as soon as they saw Sanders, he said that's going to be great. Maybe they didn't realize Heisman Trophy, but Sanders was a bright young star. But this guy is so underrated, probably because he doesn't get the publicity and doesn't talk about it that much. But he can do everything.
He twisted all the way to the 2-yard line. Here's Thomas looking for the end zone. He is in. run for a touchdown.
Now that was a run, Dick. He had Taylor, he had Reasons, he had Marshall out there with him, and they had him corralled. And he had to make a decision, so he just jumped and split two people. Watch him go right up inside Taylor and outside Marshall. Beautiful job. He is quick, he's agile. The Bills have got real weapons with Thomas, but they've got James Lofton outside. They've got Reed outside, McKellar a tight end. With Kelly, this team is potent, really potent.
Thomas with his 10th touchdown rushing this year and his 12th overall. Norwood adds the extra point, and it's the Bills leading 14-7 in the first minute of the second quarter.
The teams then swapped possessions, and with less than 6 minutes remaining in the half, Matt Barr reduced Buffalo's lead to 4 when he converted this 23-yard field goal. On the Bills' next drive, quarterback Jim Kelly suffered a game-ending injury when his own tackle, Will Wolford, was blocked into him. Backup quarterback Frank Reich was called into action. Early in the second half, Giants quarterback Phil Simms suffered a foot injury, which forced him to retire from the game, and Jeff Hostetler came in to lead the Giants. With both backup quarterbacks in, neither team moved the ball well, and each had to settle for a field goal that maintained the Bills' 4-point lead into the fourth quarter. We now rejoin the game with only 64 seconds remaining. New York has the ball at their own 43-yard line. They have no timeouts left, and a field goal is no good to them.
Stetler in the middle of the play, and that'll allow the clock to run as the catch by Lionel Manuel at the Buffalo 42 with 52 seconds.
They should stop the clock. They did.
Now they start it again. To the sidelines, Baker steps out at the Buffalo 33. 41 seconds to go.
Hostetler's handling his team very well, no question about that. But they're going to have to get something well down the field and out of bounds at the same time. They can afford maybe one play in the middle of the field, and that'll eat up about 25 seconds if they do it, or even more.
Sims, injured foot. Cooley watching from the back row. Hostetler repeat his comeback performance against Phoenix this year. Oh, Meggett. That one almost would have been better not to have been called.
They're taking too much time on this one. See, that play, Dick's going to take too much time off that clock.
Hostetler is going to ground it here, it would appear. Yes. With 24 seconds to go. And the ball at the 26 of Buffalo, 17-13. A field goal won't do it for the Giants. Second and 10. Open. Oh, almost intercepted by the rookie James Williams. That pass seemed to float as wide open was Manuel on the sidelines. That would have been ideal. He was down around the 7-yard line.
Well, Manuel had to stay by the sideline, Dick. He couldn't leave the sideline, so he had to reach out for the ball. Because if he'd have been tackled in bounds, the game would have been over. See, he had to wait out there. And it gave them a chance to intercept it. Williams made a nice move on it. It'll take another play just like that. Throw it earlier.
19 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Incomplete. Well covered, Manuel, by Clifford Hicks, an extra defensive back. Picked up just a couple of weeks ago from the Rams off the waiver wire. So now it's down to one play. Lawrence Taylor and the Giants ever so close to suffering a rare loss here at Giants Stadium. But the big loss of the game may be that that will have to be absorbed by the Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly, although Frank Reich certainly didn't make any crucial mistakes, led the club, kept them there, kept the lead. Into the end zone this time. Incomplete, and that'll do it. 9 seconds left. The Bills take over on downs, and they can celebrate.
For the last game of the weekend, we again travel from California to New York to Giant Stadium for the NFC playoff game. And it didn't take long for the New York defense to take control.
Tomczak looks at a Giant four-man front on defense. Outside, picked off by Mark Collins. Intended for Dennis Gentry, bounced out of his hands, and Collins got the rebound.
4 plays later, they attempted to take the lead with this Matt Barr 46-yard field goal, which hits the uprights, but it's still good for 3. Later in the quarter, it was the turn of Jeff Hostetler to further increase the lead.
That's the drive so far. Every pass they've thrown, except that one's been on first down. This one is another one. For Baker, touchdown.
But it was the Giants' defense that shut down the Bears. While Hostetler, subbing for the injured Phil Simms, was having an all-pro day.
Hostetler. Touchdown to Howard Cross. First and goal from the 3. Hostetler fake to Anderson. And now Hostetler will take off. Touchdown. Touchdown.
So a great day for New York's offense and defense. And while Mike Ditka heads home to Chicago, the New York Giants will go to San Francisco for the conference championship game. Former U.S. President John F. Kennedy is one of Bill Parcells' heroes and inspirational sources. And he once described himself as an idealist without illusion. Much the same could be said of the Giants head coach, who after 8 years in charge, finds himself on the brink of a second world championship.
You know, it's human nature to doubt yourself when you're not as successful as you would like to be. On the other hand, one of the things you have to learn to do if you're in athletics is defeat human nature. And if you can't do that, you're not going to get very far. You have to express your feelings, and you have to make an attempt to convey what they are to other people, and if you want to be understood.
You know, we got a chance to win the game if you guys would just quit holding. I know. And we're starting to crack, and we just let them back in. I'll tell you, I'm not going to play them if they hold. They could sit there down or go somewhere else.
He's yelling not really for the sake of yelling, and he's not yelling to be mean. You know, he's yelling to see what he can get out of you. He's the type of coach that loves to push a button. You know, he wants to push your button and see how you respond to it.
If you blow a play or something, you kind of look over there at him, and he has a disappointed look on his face. It makes you feel bad. Now you know you have to make a play, you know, twice as valuable as the play that you just messed up on.
We go double C me, man. Just don't hook it up. Don't you make your mind up with him. I'm trying to get the first down. Where you want? Now, come on, let's go now.
I have to convey not only the subject matter, but my feelings about the situation to the players and try to instill in them the desire to take that information and use it, because I term it in their best interest to do that, and if you can convince them of that, then I think you have a chance to be successful. You know, just trying to get everybody on the same page, I guess, is the most difficult thing in managing 47 different guys and trying to convince them as a group collectively that it's in the best interest of everyone if you're unified.
He's a man of different hats, a lot of different hats. He thinks he's a doctor. He thinks he's a lawyer. He thinks he's a trainer. He thinks he, you know, it's one of those guys that knows a little bit about everything he feels, right? And I think he's a key reason this team does pretty well, because he finds ways to motivate each and every one of us.
I told the players basically that they're not going to be judged by one or two losses in late November, early December, but rather they're going to be judged by who's standing at the end of the race.
The San Francisco 49ers, who beat the Giants 7-3 in Week 13, are now the only team standing in the way of Bill Parcells and the Giants as they race towards the Super Bowl. And the men from New York will do well to remember another famous John F. Kennedy saying, "Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names."
The New York Giants took their NFC Championship hopes to the Bay Area of San Francisco on Sunday, and having lost 4 straight to the 49ers, the Giants were the only team left in the way of San Francisco's 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance. New York coach Bill Parcells knew his defense had to stop Joe Montana, but on the 49ers' first possession, it looked like wishful thinking.
Montana back to throw it. They've yet to run a play. As Montana does what he does so well. To Brent Jones. Roger Craig is the lone setback in the first running play for the 49ers. Craig inside the Giant 45, a pickup of 5, tripped up by Mark Collins. Montana to throw it quickly. That's to John Taylor. 14-yard pickup if the pass is complete.
It was complete, but then the Giant defense stiffened and forced a San Francisco field goal attempt.
From 47 yards out. That was plenty long enough, plenty high enough, and the 49ers get 3 on their first drive.
Then it was the Giants' first chance to try to show that they could move the ball.
Here's Hostetler back to throw it. Gets it upfield quickly to Stephen Baker. Here's Anderson inside the 11. Stopped finally by Millen. The 11th play of this drive on an 11-yard gain.
With plays like this halfback pass and 2 other drop balls stopped the Giant drive short.
Matt Barr from 28 yards away with Hostetler holding. Is good, and this game is tied at 3.
And in the second quarter, it was Barr again.
Hofer and Barr both perfect, and they have accounted for all the points. 2 field goals for each team, and it's 6-6 with 3 seconds left to play.
Not surprisingly, that's the way the half ended. But on their first pass of the third quarter, the 49ers went with their speciality. Short pass, big gain.
61-yard touchdown.
When the Giants got the ball back, they again had to settle for...
He's 3 for 3.
And in the fourth, it was Barr again, this time trying to bring the Giants to within a point.
That's no good.
It was a big miss for Bill Parcells' team. Frustrated on offense all day, they desperately needed a big play to get them back into the game. And it came from their defense.
First down and much, much more.
That's the call they needed. That's the play they needed. They needed something to get them out of this.
Out of the pack with the ball.
Well, it was just a double team. You know, it was late in the game. They're going to try and eat up the clock, and we knew it was going to be a run. You know, I suspected the inside run, and I got a double team from McIntyre and Cipolla, and I split it, and saw Roger Craig try to pop through the hole, and I just dove at him and hit the ball.
7 plays later, on 4th down, the Giant offense had moved the ball close enough for a final field goal attempt. With New York fans on their feet and his teammates on their knees in prayer, it was down to Barr one last.
Matt was kicking the ball real well, and as soon as he hit it, it was to the left a little bit, and I was just worrying that it was going to fade off to the left, but Tucker kept going straight and went through and going to Tampa.